Okay, we're rolling. Hey, it's good to see you all. I know it's been a while for those who watch my channel that for video making like these, I've been absent. But don't worry, things have changed, and bear with me with this setup. I'm just getting started, just like DC Studios is for Superman. So what a coincidence, kind of really. Superman is the latest film from James Gunn, but more importantly, the start of DC Studios, and it's basically about Superman, the conflict with Lex Luthor, and other things going around. I know it sounds a bit vague, but hey, that's kind of the gist of it. I have been a fan of Superman the hero. I've basically seen the theatrical films of him. The 1978 film is probably my favorite iteration of it. Just the way the original Donner captured that vision was just magnificent. But then you got Superman 2, both the Richard Lester cut and the Richard Donner cut. They're both okay. It's just the fact that there were just two compromises had to be made and just didn't fully reach to its full potential, but that's just me. Superman 3, in the minority, I think it's just fine. I know a lot of people don't like it. I get it's not the right direction, but some of it is just hit or miss. And then you got Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. We don't want to talk about that film. I loathe that film. It ruined my childhood. The less said, the better. Then we got Superman Returns 2 decades later, and I think it's below average. I just think it has not the right tone, not the right casting for it. It just didn't work out for me. Then years later, we got a reboot with Man of Steel, and I actually am going to be a defender of that. I think it's a very good epic film. Even though it has its quirks, I do think it just feels epic. It just got all the right beats. But that was the start of the DCEU universe. After Batman v Superman, it started to crumble a bit. By the time Justice League came out, it's all too late. It's all crumbled apart. So now we're starting with DC Studios, which is the launch of a brand new franchise. With James Gunn being the head of it, he was previously in the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, with Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. As a fan of the superhero, I was very excited to see what James Gunn would be bringing to the table. I wasn't as anxious or nervous as the fans, studios, Hollywood. I get there's a lot of stakes in it. Brand new franchise. It's Warner Brothers, and they're struggling. Same with DC Studios, and everyone else is struggling. But I was like, it's going to be fine. I mean, we've seen the trailers. So after the film, we saw the trailers, and they all looked really good, in my opinion. So it's just like, cool, guys. We got James Gunn. We trust James Gunn. We've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Most of us liked it. So no pressure. It's just another superhero, just a big famous one. But now that it's here and I finally got to see it, which feels like I'm behind with all the Amazon Tuesday night screens and stuff, but I saw it. I saw an IMAX. It was because of the crowd. I got a good amount of live experience, with a good amount of laughs, and not as lively as Formula One the movie, but still that. But let's just say everyone loves crypto. I love crypto as well. Anytime crypto wasn't there, we all loved it. If you're into the superhero, magnificent, exciting action sequences, you will get your money's worth. It is great in the wide scope aspect ratio for what it is. It's not filmed with IMAX cameras, but it's filmed for the format, if you know what I mean. I thought the cast was very good. One of my highlights would be Lois Lane, the actress who was in it. I forgot her name, but she got the character right. Lex Luthor, the guy who played him, he also got it right. There's this guy named, I forgot his name, but he played Green Lantern, and he feels like he was part of the Anchorman universe, just the attitude kind of way. I'm not sure if it was good on paper, but it kind of worked for me, I would just say that too. The humor and the tonal shifts, it worked for me, I'm not saying it's my favorite type of tonal shifts. I kind of wish it had a little bit more gravitas. But, for the goofy film it is, I think it works. And that's just me, though. And James Gunn knows how to handle this kind of humor well. I also like Superman. I thought he brought his own take, basically like all the cast. I don't think there's really a weak link to it. So it's basically an entertaining popcorn blockbuster. It's not the most prestigious thing I've seen, but I kind of think it should have been better. The thing is, when you saw the film, it feels like I walked in 45 minutes late, which I did. I arrived 45 minutes early. Not really, but, feels like that with all the commercials, but that's not the movie's fault. Thanks, Rico. It just, lots of conflict. I feel like it's missing something. Not really the origin scene. It's more of, hey, there are these setups and beats and payoffs and emotion connections that just don't hit hard as well as it could have been. It just feels like it's missing, a bit lost. Once it starts to roll, it feels like, okay, I think the main issue is it has too many great brewing ideas. You see these superheroes, and you have other concepts with Lex Luthor and what he wants to do, and they try to bring them all together, and you got samples of them. The problem is like little pieces of candy. They collect all of them, every single one, samples them, just shoves it down in your mouth. You're like, yeah. I mean, it is pretty good. It's pretty tasty. It's quite sugary. It's quite exciting. Yeah, it definitely has passion in it, but it could have been streamlined. It doesn't feel consistent. That's the thing is, it was not really hard to follow the story, but I just felt the way they presented it, and they so many ideas brilliant. I think they should have saved them for next few movies. It says it's going to be a franchise. I think they should have, killed your darlings. That's the easier way to say it. I mean, there's so many great ideas in it, with the Green Lantern, Hog, Girl, Mr. Terrific. But it feels a little bit too overbearing. Now, I do think the 2 hour runtime is just perfect for what it is, but it's just the elements out. And within this 2 hour runtime, it's overstuffed. I think that's the biggest gripe. It's just overstuffed. It just wasn't as satisfying because had it been a little bit more streamlined, had it been one or two, three elements that they really focus on, it could have been richer, could have been deeper. I mean, I would have liked more emotional impact with Clark Kent's parents, but I got the gist of it. It just wasn't as satisfying as it could have been. But that's just me. I am a little bit disappointed for James Gunn's Superman. But it does have great potential. Definitely has a lot of promise. It's quite excited. It does want to be is a franchise, but it also knows it wants to be its own film. It's just that it could have been more focused. But I think for anyone who likes the superhero genre or just wants to go in for a fun time, for a big experience, this is it. I do prefer Formula One the film as a type of blockbuster you should see. But James Gunn's Superman definitely delivers a lot of it. Maybe a bit too much, but hey, it still flies. So those are my thoughts on Superman. I wonder what y'all think about it. I'll be on Letterboxd. Let me know down in the comments on this video or on my review or anybody else's review. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoy the film when you get to see it, if you do get to see it. And with all that said, have a good night. Bonus scene. I saw the Odyssey teaser and I thought it was pretty good. Really excited for next year. What kind of in-credit scene was I doing?